What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another War Thunder video. Today we're taking out the Chieftain Mk. This is a British medium tank that was recently moved down from 8.7 battle rating to a 8.3. The primary difference between it and the Mark III is that it has a larger, more powerful engine, and so it has actually pretty decent mobility as far as Chieftains go. And that's primarily why I suspect it had a higher battle rating than the Mark III, but now they're the same BR, and I recommend taking it out if you haven't done so in a while. The reason I'm taking it out is so that I can finish researching the modification for thermal imaging, or excuse me, night vision actually. It doesn't get thermals, it just gets the basic night vision. I would not be able to finish it, finish that upgrade in this battle, but I would eventually. I'll knock that out later in the day. Now we are on Conquest Poland. We have this A-cap kind of exposed from the flank to the right, but I'm more concerned with the flank to the left. If someone goes into the middle of the city, they can snipe out towards this and intercept me in the side. And so with that in mind, I am preparing myself to pop smoke as I approach this building, or excuse me, this road here. And as I do, I see a tank just in front of me to my left. He's already in an ambush spot. Pop smoke, push through, take him out. That is how you start a battle. Came through that brick wall like Kool-Aid Man and blew that M48 right out of there. He ended up leaving the battle altogether after that. He's like, screw this, I'm out of here. So, that was quick. Before we press on towards their spawn, I decided to head on over towards the side to see if anyone is in this little gap, but nope. Nothing there, so we're going to turn back, get around our friendly, and head towards their spawn. After all, that is where I figured that they're going to be coming from. But there's nobody here. I thought for sure someone would be here ready to shoot us. Now, when you play Poland, always look for people in these corners, but nobody here. Look at my mini-map. We got action in the middle of the town, so we focus our attention that direction as we approach the gap. And I see a tank that doesn't have a marker over it. Now, that's a funny-looking Roy cat. It turns out it's a Centauro. I got pretty lucky there with that shot, and exceptionally lucky with that one. Just clip the back end of his ammo rack and blow him up for my second kill. And now we have the age-old question of what to do now. We've got the single cap under control. 4 or 5 of their team have already left the battle, so now what? Well, this battle, and the reason I decided to upload it, is a prime example of ground forces in War Thunder, and the mentality of people just, they kill everything in front of them and they just hold W. They just push on right before the spawn, and that is exactly what's going to happen here. Just watch as we move throughout the city, killing everything in sight. Well, my teammates are going to kill everything in sight. You see, as I push up, I start to find out that people have flanked towards what is the north, if you're looking at the mini-map of Alpha. There's a Japanese Type 74 that is flanked to the north of Alpha. There's also an Italian R3 SPA that is flanked far north. Well, not too far north, but he's going to give our teammates a run for their money. And so those two vehicles alone are going to head towards Alpha. And so with that in mind, I figured I would head back towards the cap and defend it. After all, I can see my team where they're headed. They'll probably be able to handle whatever's in the spawn. Right? I mean, that's almost all my team. Surely they can handle a bunch of respawning people. Well, just watch the kill feed. set up an ambush for the R3, and he zoomed right past. I only saw just the tail end of him. So we know where he's headed. We also know the Type 74 is out here. I do have a teammate in the area, but he's not able to be of much help as he's been fighting with the Type 74. I see the Type 74 marked in the field, so it's pretty obvious where he's at. Take him out with a nice little side shot. And now we gotta find the R3. Little bitty armored car. Where is he? And over to my left, I see a little gun barrel peeking through a bush. I thought, that looks kind of suspicious. No, he probably didn't park there with any sort of strategy necessarily in mind, but he was on one side of him there was a tree, and on the other side there was a building. So maybe he did park there with some strategy in mind. I don't know, but it sure looked funny from my perspective of seeing that little gun pointing out of that tree. Now, if you take a look at the mini map, most of my team has died going towards the spawn. Imagine that. Here's the thing about spawn camping. If people are immune, you can't shoot them, you can't kill them. If you have no gun depression and you're in a Object 279, you're probably going to die. Because Poland is not exactly a flat map up in the spawn area. There is quite a bit of terrain, and I honestly don't feel bad for this guy dying, or for most of my team dying in the spawn. You guys held W. It's your responsibility to defend yourself. And yeah, so there they are, completely wiped out in the spawn push. You know how War Thunder has the attack A point, attack B point, C point, and even the old D point commands for the radio? We need an attack the S point command. Attack the spawn point. Well, I guess we don't really need it because we all pretty much do it by default. And you know, I'm just as guilty as anyone of doing it. I've gone right for the spawn. That'd be a great T-shirt for War Thunder. Attack the S point. That pretty much sums up War Thunder Ground Forces in a nutshell, doesn't it? Well, I'm slow to push the enemy spawn because whatever they had was obviously deadly enough to kill whatever forces that my team had pushed up there. And I really hadn't paid any attention to what the enemy team had. But I did manage to pick off that Type 74G that rolled in, headed for the cap. Listening closely, but I think that's an enemy, or excuse me, a friendly that I hear driving behind me. Yeah, Leopard in the middle of the town goes down, but he's not alone. There's also another Japanese STB that is headed into the town. Given the current situation as far as tickets goes, I think it's pretty clear where he would be headed. He's headed for the capture point. But we're going to head there. We're trying to intercept him before he gets there. He eliminated 2 of my SPA teammates. The Chieftain Marksman is just sitting there scared. But that's okay, we got it under control. My first shot is a very lucky one that gets both his gunner and the track, so he can't move away. All he can do is spin around, and that allows me to take out his ammunition rack on the floor of his tank. Pretty easy 6th and final kill of the battle. It just goes to show you that sometimes it does pay off to be protective of the cap, especially when it's a conquest map. There are only so many places where the enemies are going to go. Eventually, they're going to have to find their way back towards the cap if they're going to stop any sort of ticket bleed or eventually get that victory. If it's been a while since you've tried the Chieftain Mk, I would recommend giving it another go. If you're like me, you probably don't have the night vision unlocked, and if so, go ahead and finish that up and continue your British grind. Great Britain does have some nice vehicles in their tank tree. The Chieftain Mark V is one of those good vehicles. It doesn't have the mobility of some of the Leopards and the Type 74s and some of the other vehicles that you're going to be facing. But it does have a really good shell. The APDS is excellent. The armor, I would argue, is situationally obsolete. On one hand, it will protect you against anti-air vehicles, some IFVs, but it's not going to protect you against heat or APF-SDS. So it's extremely situational. Whereas most of the vehicles you're going to face have virtually no armor whatsoever and are vulnerable to just about everything. Except, of course, some of the Soviet vehicles. The Soviets had quite a few vehicles at this tier that have some decent armor. But anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Take care, guys.